Today's ramble is going to be about the color orange, and I talk about orange quite a lot, similar to the number 33. It's just like an inside joke to the big club. You know how there's a big club and you're not in it? Well, remember, it's a big club, so there's a lot of these people. Birds of a feather flock together. They don't have a lot of original ideas, and I think part of them being illuminated in a way, it really makes them not as interesting of people as regular everyday people that have to suffer through life and are being bombarded with all the programming and having to find their way through it all. Really, the people who learn the secrets and stuff, they seem really shallow. Like, there's not that much depth to their personality. I mean, the fake it till they make it is really what they do. And if you're not living authentically, then you're a phony. I often think of Catcher in the Rye. There's a reason that this guy was going on and on and on about all the phonies. And, you know, if you go around talking about how your favorite color's orange, and the reason that orange is your favorite color is because it's an inside joke to the secret club that you're in, are you living an authentic experience? Is orange really your favorite color, or was it dictated to you by being a part of this club? I'm just saying that these people often have very elevated senses of self-worth, but they are not interesting people most of the time. So, the color orange, the reason that I'm doing this today, well, I have a personal story to say, a really quick one. And then this morning I was just scrolling through YouTube, just like a YouTube cooking video. And this is an Amazonian type woman presenting individual. And just casually in the comments, replying to a few of the comments and using an orange heart emoji. How many of you have seen the rampant use of the orange heart emoji by illuminated individuals? What would make somebody go grab an orange heart emoji? Heart, okay, pink, red, I get it. Heart with sparkles around it. A broken heart emoji, these things I get. But, you know, when people do all the different colors of the rainbow, they do like a rainbow heart, I understand that. But what I don't understand, well, I do, now that I know about the orange joke thing. When you know orange is an inside joke, it makes sense. Why do I see people using the orange heart emoji everywhere? It really is. It's not something that you'll notice until you're looking for it. And then it really isn't the same thing as a confirmation bias. Like, oh, well, the only reason that you're seeing orange hearts is because you're looking for orange hearts. I mean, that's partially true. But what you'll notice when just start paying attention to colors, and you'll notice that orange pops out too much. It's too much. It's like the 33 thing. If it's supposed to be random, yes, you should still expect to see the number 33 in places. It's not like you can't see the number 33 or you can't see the number orange naturally. It's just that it is too frequent to be random. And that's how it is with these personal stories. So yeah, it just annoys me seeing all the orange heart emojis, but maybe some of you have noticed that, you know, illuminated individuals very often love using the orange heart emoji with no reason. Why would they choose that? Again, seems more likely to use a red heart or a pink heart. No mentions of anything orange. Just this YouTuber was just saying, oh, thanks for your nice comment. Orange heart emoji. Yeah, I know who you are. You're one of them, one of these NASA bozos. Let's get into it. Okay, so first, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell the story really quick and then flip through the Wikipedia article on orange. I don't think that I've ever done this. It is striking how long the article on orange is. I kind of don't think that if you go look up like the Wikipedia article on blue or green or red, I feel like they're not going to be as long or as interesting as the orange one. But I could be wrong. I didn't do that. That's something that you could go do. And it's something that I do notice where a lot of times, like, their bullshit on Wikipedia is so long and so so much information. Have you guys ever noticed that, where you're trying to look for something, you're like researching conspiracy or something, and you'll be looking for information on something kind of fringe, and you get like one or two sentences about stuff, and then you go look at the mainstream one, you go look at like the PSYOP or whatever, you look at the thing that the narrative is pushing, and there's just pages and pages and pages of BS. That's one of their tactics, is to just overcomplicate something and write like a huge novel, like Infinite Jest size, with all sorts of characters and backstories, etc. And then, but it's all BS. And then they make so much BS that you couldn't possibly filter through all of it in a lifetime. This is like the whole transvestigation thing, when people get stuck on the loop. Well, what about this celebrity? What about this celebrity? What about... It's like you could spend 5 lifetimes doing this stuff if you're going to be like that. You just have to realize the whole system is built on bullshit. Okay, so the personal story. It's not a long one. It'll be quick. My sister-in-law is getting married to this guy. And he's from a family that you can tell is upper crust. That's one of them. Now, there is a class system. That being said, the club transcends all class. There's dirt poor prostitutes, drug addicts that know about the Orange 33 thing. And just poor families, poor worker bee families that know the Orange 33 thing. Tons of them that throw the triad claw everywhere. Yeah, just because you know this stuff doesn't mean that you're high class. But if you're high class, you're going to know about this stuff. And, okay, so he comes from a family that's like that. How do I know that the family is like that? Well, let's see. One of his siblings has transitioned and then detransitioned, but not quietly. Was very loud about the transition process, and then with the detransition process, like getting some small media coverage for their detransitioning and speaking out about it. These people are just handed platforms. That is what I would say is one of the major differences between being in the club and not being in the club. People who are not in the club have to work so hard to get exposure, to get a platform. And they're abused. They aren't treated fairly. If you're not one of them, you're not going to be treated fairly. You're going to be better than other people, but you'll be rejected and they'll get the job. It reminds me, honestly, of being in even stupid stuff. Even the most stupid, low-level stuff, you will be shafted by the system in favor of the Orange 33 star children. This just reminds me of... It's funny because it doesn't make me mad that I didn't win this award. So there was an award in grad school for being like the best new teacher award, and usually they would base it off of ratings, like the ratings that you got from your students. Anyways, it was a small class of us. We all knew each other's ratings. I had the highest teaching ratings, and so it was kind of obvious that, okay, well, I'll probably get the award for that. So I did end up getting a thing saying, oh, you can come to the banquet, you're getting an award. Well, what do you know? My 2 office mates also did. So rather than letting me win the award, they gave the award to everybody. That is how this place works. If you're not one of them, you'll be shafted at every opportunity, and they will not let you shine without somebody else also occupying the spotlight, one of their children. It's just so childish, but I could just look back now and laugh. Okay, I got sidetracked again, but these people, you'll get a feeling for, oh, you're one of those people, because things are handed to you. Things are handed to you, and people are putting you on platforms and sharing your story, and people talk you up. People don't walk up to you and say, oh, whoa, you're skinny. as like the first thing that they've ever seen in 2 years. That's just how natural people get treated. We get treated like dirt most of the time. You'll feel like an outcast most of the time. Anyways, so that's one of this person's siblings, clearly not an outcast. They're transitioning, they're detransitioning, they're being put on platforms, they're having people speak about it. It's like their job, basically, to go talk about these issues, the things that they did to themselves. And then another one of this person's siblings, their job is to post stuff on Instagram. They're like a ridiculous thing, not even about themselves, about this like third party thing. It would be, when people have like a puppet that they bring around the world and take pictures of it, and like they have an Instagram associated with that puppet. It would be like that. Like if I got paid money to bring a little puppet around and take pictures in front of the Eiffel Tower, it's like, how is that even a job? It's because the economy is fake. It's not even backed on anything anymore. Literally grows on trees. Money grows on trees. But not today. They don't even have to do that. It's just numbers in a bank account. Some accountant, some high up Illuminati person somewhere just has to add some numbers to a bank account somewhere. And who knows how many of these people just have like blank check type credit cards where they just spend whatever they want. I actually just read a comment the other day about a waiter and saying that these people walked in and were just spending enormous amounts of money. Give us your fanciest bottle of wine, spending more in one day than people make in like months and months. And it's because it's not real money. It's just fake money to certain people. It's monopoly money at a certain point when you're high enough up. And they have access to the monopoly money, then they can just live differently. Anyways, to get to the orange, I've just been giving you a broad overview of these types of people. You'll be able to sniff them out. Anyway, so this guy, he's getting married to my sister-in-law, and they're talking about planning the wedding. And they're talking about colors and how they haven't even decided on their colors yet. And so usually guys don't care about that kind of stuff, right? So the bride-to-be hasn't fully decided on their colors. And then the guy who she's getting married to says that he doesn't care, except he wants orange. He wants orange to be one of their wedding colors. What do you know? You got this upper crust character, and I'm telling you, guys don't care about colors at a wedding. I don't care what colors would be at a wedding at all. So for somebody to say orange, I don't care about the colors, but I want orange. It's just so obvious what these people do. It reminds me exactly of a wedding I went to of more of these upper crust type individuals. Oh, they had a black and white checkerboard dance floor at their wedding. What do you know? Okay, that's not random. It's not random that this guy wants orange at his wedding, and it's something that would be totally, you would not pay attention to this stuff at all if you didn't know about it. And that's just the way it is. I have a zillion stories about orange. I've made videos about orange, and people in my life that interject out of nowhere. Oh, orange is my favorite color. And you're like, who asked you, buddy? Or somebody that went to my high school that wore orange literally every single day of the year. There was no purple guy at my school. There was no green girl at my school, but there was an orange boy at my school. The time my mom bought me, well, we'll get to that. I'm going to go through the slides now. What I thought was very interesting is the extensiveness of the orange Wikipedia article. The strange information about the color orange that doesn't make sense. So orange associated with the so one thing to know too, it's similar to the 33 thing. Just because orange is like their favorite, a fun color for them, an inside joke color for them, just like 33 is an inside joke number for them, that doesn't mean that that's like it, that it begins and ends at 33 and that it begins and ends at orange. It's an understanding that there's a group of people that speak symbolically. Colors And numbers are just obvious ways to have hidden messages. And just think about it for a second and think of all the different inside jokes in society that has to do with numbers. Oh, 69, haha, 420. 911 is a big number that comes up all the time. I think of how they do number play and word play, like K9 on a cop car, the letter K and then the number 9. The word you live in a place where they play these games, puns. Why are people obsessed with puns? That's really not as funny as people make it out to be. So it's pushed further than it should be naturally on purpose because it has some extra meaning. Colors. Why the heck would Hillary Clinton come out wearing purple, looking ludicrous after the election? It had symbolic meaning. They do these things on purpose. They speak with symbols. And you're either paying attention or you're not paying attention. Okay, so orange, amusement, unconventional extroversion. If there's something that describes your type A Bafo perfectly, I would say it's that. Unconventional extroversion is a perfect way to describe a lot of these people. Warmth, fire, energy, activity, danger, taste, aroma. There's weird stuff about the fruit, how like orange is the only thing named after a fruit, but I don't even know. Etymology, we'll get to that in a second. Orange is very noticeable, high visibility. That's one of the reasons it's one of their favorite inside joke. Well, I would say that orange is like the inside joke color, and 33 is like the inside joke number. It's like the game. They're the triggers for losing the game. Oh yeah, orange. Oh yeah, 33. Like, that's the level of brain deadness going into the symbolism of those things. Most of the time. Anyways. But it's noticeable. Hey, look at me. A lot of royalty. Hey, here we have bright orange and the black and white checkerboard. I believe that Japan is a eunuch society. A society of eunuchs. I don't believe in what they tell us about etymology. I think, you know how they tell us that English is made up of like all the different languages put together? I think that's backwards. I think English is ancient Chaldean, and I think that the other languages came from English, not the other way around. And I don't believe that the stories that they tell us about, oh, this word came from that word, it's about as believable as the history that they tell us. Naranja, okay, whatever. The place name orange has a separate etymology and is not related to that of the color. They'll tell us that, well, okay, we have orange, the fruit, and then they tell us that the color comes from the fruit, I guess. But then we also have these, everywhere has places named Orange. Orange County, City of Orange, it comes up in a lot of different places, have cities of Orange. Very much associated with royalty, as we already saw. But here they're saying that when it's a place, when it's a place called Orange, it's something different, not related to color. What? I don't know if I believe that. Orange is interesting when it comes to pigments, seen a lot with iconography. I don't have a lot to say about that right now, though. Political. Very political. So this to me was so weird. This to me seems exactly like the type of BS that they try to pass off all the time. So here, remember how they just said that the places called Orange have nothing to do with oranges? So here we have a place, the House of Orange, and then down here they say, however, the name may have been slightly altered to be associated with the color because it was on the route by which quantities of oranges, it's like they try to get both sides at the same time sometimes. Well, they're not named after the fruit. Oh, but then also maybe it was named after the fruit because the fruit went... What? Can you make up your mind, please? So... Orange. The reason I picked this one, there was an extensive part in the Orange Wikipedia article on orange in art. I would just be impressed if all the other colors, if I go look up brown or green, is there an extensive section on like the use of the color green in art? Maybe there could be. I didn't go check it, but to me it just seemed excessive The amount of, there were just paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of like how orange was used in art. And so what this reminded me of is how orange stuff will just become famous. I've talked to multiple people like this. I used to wear an orange jacket sometimes. I just bought like a safety orange jacket from a hunting store or a Army Navy store. I used to get compliments on that jacket all the time. And one guy would compliment me. I've told the story before. One guy would compliment me so much about this jacket. One day I was like, dude, you can have this jacket. Like, take it. Because he just would like rave about my orange jacket. It was a nice jacket. It was like, I would go out and buy another one. It had like the, the long underwear, like waffle stuff on the inside. It was really cozy orange jacket. But this guy, every time I ever wore it, he would multiple compliments about it. So I just gave it to him one day because clearly you enjoy this a lot more than I do. So here, you can have it. I've talked to people before that said similar things, that I had an orange shirt. So this is something that a friend has told me. Oh, I used to wear this orange shirt sometime and people would give me compliments on it constantly. I actually have gotten a compliment one other time in my life. Some rando person, I was wearing like a green t-shirt, like a teal green t-shirt. Somebody was driving by in a car and just yelled out the car, "I like your t-shirt." The only reason I remember that is because it's like the one time somebody's complimented me in my life, and it was some rando person driving by in a car, and it did make me feel good about myself. But that's the story I think of whenever you read stuff like, reading on the internet about how men don't get compliments, and that is very true. That if you're a guy, especially if you're a Disney character looking Martin, you're gonna get plenty of compliments. But if you're a plain looking Martin or just a dude, a regular dude, you're not gonna get complimented. So, but the orange, oh man, I got a lot of compliments on the orange jacket. I just had to say that I have been complimented on a shirt once before in my life, and I remember it. So, yeah, maybe you've been complimented on orange stuff. Maybe you've had people in your life love an orange shirt, wear it all the time. Celebrities are always wearing ugly, bright orange. See, this is what I was talking about with the orange and the painting. There were paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs talking about the famous painters in orange. Something that's interesting, that's totally unrelated. This is a ramble video. I may as well just throw it in here. Something totally unrelated to this, unrelated to the color orange, but this is reminding me of it, how they'd all studied the recent books on color theory. Were they recent books, or were they digging out of archives, old, ancient knowledge? Because what this reminds me of is classical music has only very recently, only since the 70s, has classical music been attempted to be played how it should be played. Historically informed performance of classical, Baroque, Renaissance work, that only started in the 70s. And I think it's because the most recent history reset was so recent that we only just now have begun to get through the archives and really be able to get our hands on the old manuscripts explaining how they played the music, what was going on, what the instruments really were. It's taken this long since the 1800s, when the last reset was, to get things back up and running again, to where we can actually build a theorbo or one of these fantastical old Renaissance and Baroque instruments. We're only just now being able to make those again, because the last history reset was so recent. The first few generations are sweeping dirt and refurbishing these buildings. You don't have time to go study how people were actually playing Baroque music, let alone be skilled enough at woodworking to make a replica of the ones that don't work anymore. Anyways, that's what this is reminding me of, this whole color theory thing. They probably were digging out old manuscripts and relearning lost knowledge. Okay, the post-impressionists went even further with orange. It's like, this reminds me of something we'll see in a second, where somebody made a meme about Rihanna invented the color orange. Yeah, again, I'd be impressed if the other color Wikipedia articles were talking about how, oh, they just revolutionized the color green. A lot of royalty in orange. Got the look. What? They got the look. They've been doing the same tricks. Oh, you want to hide your gnarly Adam's apple? Wrap a few things around it. That's a pretty painting, the bottom one. So, the high visibility of orange. My mom has put a mark on me before with orange. I was going off to Europe by myself and she bought me the ugliest orange backpack. And now I know she was putting a mark on me saying, look here, because the way I'm born makes me sick. These people have that's something I got to make a video on. These people have body issues like no other. And the way that I know that is because they're projecting. They constantly project their body issues onto other people. And this happens where I'll meet inverts, BAFO people that I haven't seen in 5 years, and it's like the first thing out of their mouth is, "Oh, whoa, you're so skinny." That's the first thing out of their mouth to me. Clearly, they have huge body issues that they need to project this stuff onto other people. Agent Orange. Oh yeah, what was up with the Agent Orange thing? Why do we got a Clockwork Orange, Agent Orange? Religion. Orange was the color of transformation. This was about the point where I was like, okay, close up shop. We're done. We're done with this video. Orange is the color of transformation. Saffron. It seems like orange has replaced saffron as like the name for the color. That sounds reasonable to me. Monks, holy men, Krishna, illumination. And then I saw this. I thought I was done with the transformation, and then I read this. In Buddhism, orange, or saffron, was the color of illumination. This is just corroborating everything that I just said. There is an illuminated class of individuals who will prefer the color orange. That's it. That's all that it is that there's people that understand that colors have symbolic meaning. Orange, transformation, illumination. This is all the motivation for these people to obsess over the color orange. Amusement. All the world's a stage. Hey, it's just a clown freak show at the end of the day. Entertainment, amusement. It's the exact opposite of the color blue, calm and reflection. It reminds me of how the sky is blue and down here is orange. You look up at the blue, beautiful, calm blue sky, and down here we get the orange freak show. Bacchus, dressed in orange. Color of visibility and warning. It's worn by people wanting to be seen, see? This is why my mom bought me an orange backpack. She wanted me to be seen. The black box is actually bright orange. It's interesting. 1833. How many things happened in the year 1833? Man, the year 1833 was jam-packed. I think that the year 1833 was a big retcon year for when they were still faking stuff in the 1900s, because they were only like 100 years into a reset at that point. They still have to now go and retcon a bunch of information at that point, because people are exploring new lands, finding new buildings that make no sense. And 1833 seems like a really big year for retconning in information. Oh yeah, that happened in 1833. I see that year constantly. It must be like, I mean, 1933 was a huge year too, but 1833, man, almost everything happened in 1833. It's magic. Don't you hate when magic gets involved with history? Okay, I have a website. Watching for Fire at NeoCities. I talk about orange. The orange heart emoji is very popular. I just talked about that today. Where's this one's orange? Oh, this one also wore a face mask. Not only does this creature have like many different orange blazers, they also wore a face mask with oranges all over it. But I guess I don't have that picture here. It's an inside joke. And that is it for this video. God bless everyone.